Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 9 of lesson number 7, Diversity in Living Organisms. So as you all know, in last part, that is part 8, we completed with all the 10 phylums that come under kingdom Animalia, right? And in this part, like, we will be further continuing with the 6 different classes of phylum vertebrata, right? Now there's nothing much to make you all understand about the phylum and about the, you can say, divisions as well. We have already completed with kingdom Plantae, and we know the characteristics of kingdom Plantae, right? Now under this kingdom Plantae, we have 3 different divisions which come. Okay, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. So these are the 3 different divisions that we have studied under kingdom Plantae, and you know the characteristics of them, right? So you knowing the characteristic of the organism included under divisions and phylums are very important. Now no one difference over here, that plants are going to have the divisions and animals are going to have phylum. So kingdom Plantae has 3 different divisions under it, and kingdom Animalia has 10 different phylums under them, and this 10 different phylums like are there, and in that there's one phylum called as Vertebrata. So that phylum Vertebrata has 6 different classes under it. So we have already completed studying about kingdom Plantae in detail. We have studied about all the 3 divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, along with the characteristics, right? Then we discussed on kingdom Animalia. We studied some important note on kingdom Animalia, what kind of animals are included, and then we started studying about phylum Porifera and all, and we have studied about the characteristics of the organisms included under Porifera, Reptilia, Arthropoda, Mollusca. Like Mollusca is what we will be studying today, right? So there were so many phylums, like 10 total 10 phylums that we have studied. Now there's one thing that you should be knowing, that we can't, you can say, I can only tell you the meaning of it, but you have to understand it by yourself. That if any organism is included under Arthropoda, like that is a class that we will be studying. Amphibia is there, right? So you should be knowing the characteristics of the organism. That is important. Okay. So I want each one of you to please revise whatever you have written in your book till now, till part 9. I hope everyone is revising whatever note you have taken in your book till part 8, and you have so many things like to know, right? So we have started this lesson by discussing on classification and evolution. Sorry. And I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on this activity 7.1, and I want you all to please go through it quickly. I hope everyone of you are revising this activity by letting you all know about, you can say, the observation, explanation, and conclusion to it. After this, we discussed on biodiversity in detail. So I just want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the hierarchy of classification, that is group. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. Then we discussed on Kingdom Monera, like the characteristics of Kingdom Monera, and I want each one of you to please go through it, and you should be knowing the you should be knowing the characteristics of Monera as well, right? After this, we discussed on the mode of nutrition and the appendages like the flagella that they have, right? So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the characteristics of fungi. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. You have to go through the examples as well for each and every kingdom that we have studied. After this, like here we have some more information on symbiotic relationship with respect to the organisms, right? Then we discussed on like kingdom plantae, the characteristics of kingdom plantae. So I just want each one of you to please go through it as well. Then we discussed on kingdom Animalia in detail. So here we have the characteristics of it, and I want each one of you to please go through it. So this chart is very important because here we have like you can say the classification of organism which has been shown, right? So I just want you all to know this properly. After this, we discussed on kingdom plantae again, and here we have few characteristics, and after that we had like 3 different divisions under that, right? After this, like here we have the characteristics of thallophyta that we have discussed. So you should be even knowing the like names of examples of the plants that come under division thallophyta. Okay. I hope everyone is going through it. After this, we started on the characteristics of bryophyta. So I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. After this bryophyta, we discussed on the characteristics of pteridophyta. So I want you all to know this as well. After this, we discussed on, like, we know pteridophyta is like divided into two parts. One is gymnosperm and the other one is angiosperm, right? So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the characteristics of angiosperms. So I hope everyone is going through it as well. After this, like, we discussed on the classification of plants, how they are divided under like different criterias, right? So I want you all to please go through it as well quickly. Then we discussed on this activity 7.2. So I want you all to please go through it as well, and you have to like let yourself know the observation, explanation and conclusion for this. Then we discussed on the characteristics of Animalia, and we had like 10 different phylums that we have discussed, right? After that, we discussed on the first phylum, that is phylum Porifera. So we have the characteristics of Porifera which have been mentioned below. I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on Coelenterata, so I want you all to please go through it quickly. See, you should be knowing the examples as well. That is also very important. Then we discussed on platyhelminthes as well. After this, we had nematoda to discuss. Then we had Annelida, the characteristics. Now, as I'm focusing on revising you all with it because the characteristics are very important. and you won't be able to like know it just by going through it once. Okay, so that is the reason that you have to go through the properties very well. Then we have arthropoda to discuss in detail. So I want you all to go through it. Wait. Then we had like mollusca, the characteristics of mollusca, right? So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After mollusca, we have echinodermata, right? So here we have the characteristics which have been given in like 3 to 4 points. So there are not much characteristics which have been given to you all, right? So whatever characteristics are given, like there are many similarities, like all of the organisms and many of the phylums are triploplastic. Then many of them are, you can say, they have coelomic body. So there are some similarities as well, and looking that like you can make your own table, a chart kind of thing, writing all the phylums and like comparing the similarities so that it becomes easier for you. Okay. After that we have protochordata to discuss, like here also you can see they are bilaterally symmetrical. they are triploplastic, they have coelom, right? So these are some common points that we have. But when it comes to protochordata, it has some of its, you can say, specific body structure, if you can say. There is a long rod-like structure which is called as notochord, right? So you should be knowing that, and like you should be knowing it properly. All the characteristics of protochordata. Okay. After this we discussed on vertebrata, right? So here we have like some common features that all the vertecordates possess. That is, they are going to have a notochord, they will have a dorsal nerve cord, they will be triploplastic, they will have paired gill pouches, and they will be coelomate. So we have already discussed till here. Now we need to discuss the six classes of phylum vertebrata, because we know vertebrates are grouped into six classes, right? So the first class that comes under phylum vertebrata, it includes like cyclostomata. Okay, now cyclostomata are jawless vertebrates. It means you have your jaw. We all are very much concerned with the jawline, right? Jawline to dikhni chahiye bhai, right? So cyclostomes are such organisms who are like jawless vertebrates, and they have been characterized by having an elongated eel-like body, circular mouth, slimy skin, and are scalable. Okay, how are they characterized? Because they have an elongated eel-like body, circular mouth, slimy skin. These are some of the characteristics of cyclostomes. Okay, now they are ectoparasites or borers of other vertebrates. Ectoparasites means they have been found inside the body, or they are like borers of other vertebrates are going to carry them. Then petromizon, which is also called as lamprey, and myxine, which is called as hagfish. These are the examples of you can say organisms that come under cyclostomata. So this hagfish and lamprey, their body is round and elongated like an L. Their paired fins are absent. If you can see the structure, they don't have fins, right? The median fins with cartilaginous fin ray is present at the back. If you can see near the tail region, there is a small fin which has been present. So that is a median fin with cartilaginous fin rays, and they have no paired appendages. What do they have? No paired appendages. The skin is soft and smooth and devoid of any scales. Scales means like they don't have any scale on their body. And spleen is not there, spleen is absent, exoskeleton is also absent, and the notochord is present throughout their lives. So those are the characteristics of the organisms which come under cyclostomata, and the example of organisms which do not have spleen, which do not have exoskeleton, no paired appendages, the skin is soft but do not have any scales, of such organisms are lamprey, which is also known as petromizon, and hagfish, which is also called as myxine. So you should be knowing the example. Knowing the example is very important for you all. Okay. So I want each one of you to like take a note of the characteristic. After cyclostomata, the next class that we have is spices. So see, spices are mostly fish, and we know fishes are aquatic animals, right? So they are exclusively aquatic animals. We know that fishes have scales on their body, which we also call them as plates, and they obtain oxygen through like the oxygen is dissolved in the water, and that is how using their gills they obtain that oxygen, right? Then their body is streamlined and they have a muscular tail which they use it for movement. Now Pisces will become easier for you because you already know some of the characteristics of Pisces, right? So the body is streamlined and have a muscular tail and is used for movement. They are cold blooded, their hearts have only two chambers, unlike the four that we humans have. We humans have four chambers, right, in our heart, but like fishes, they have only two chambered heart and they are cold blooded animals. Okay, then fishes, they lay eggs, and we can think of many kinds of fish, some with skeleton made entirely of cartilage like shark, and some with skeleton made up of both bones and cartilage such as tuna or rohu. Okay, so I think so Pisces is the easiest one for you to remember because many of you like might be having much information on fish, right? And these are the basic things that we have over here. After the spices, we have like these are some examples of the fishes that they have shown. You can see the cartilages, bone, and scales which are present, right? Everything in the picture. The next class that we have is amphibia. Now, amphibia, like they do not like how do they differ from fishes? They do not have scales on the body, and in having mucus gland in the skin and a three-chambered heart. So amphibians are going to have three-chambered heart. They don't have any scales on their body, but they do have a mucus gland which is present on the skin, and respiration is through their gills or lungs. So you know amphibians are animals who can live on land as well as like in water. Those animals are known as amphibians, and the examples are frog, salamander, toad, hyla. Then rana trigrina is a common frog, like that is the scientific name that they have given. Okay, so they do not have scale on their body, but they do have mucus gland which is present on the skin, which helps them in respiration. So they can respire through the skin or through the lungs as well. And they lay eggs, and that is how the reproduction occurs. They have three-chambered heart. Okay, these are some of the characteristics of the organisms that come under class amphibia. Then we have reptilia, aves, and mammalia. So we'll discuss about reptilia. See, reptilias are again cold-blooded. They have scales and they breathe through their lungs. Okay, while most of them have three-chambered heart, crocodiles have four-chambered heart. What do they have? Crocodiles have four-chambered heart. Okay, whereas most of the reptilias are going to have three-chambered heart. Now, all the reptilias they lay egg with tough covering and do not need to lay their egg in water unlike amphibians. Now, we studied about amphibians that they lay egg, so they lay egg mostly inside the water. Okay, in water. Whereas there is no need for reptiles to lay their eggs in water, they can lay it like outside as well. Then the example of reptiles includes turtle, chameleon, king cobra, flying lizard, house wall lizard. These are some of the examples of reptilias that we have around us. Okay, so I just want you all to write some of the characteristics of reptilia along with the example. Okay, so after reptiles we have aves and mammalia, which I'm going to discuss in the next part, because this part is going to be the longer one then. Okay, so we are just left with two parts now, that is about aves and mammalia to discuss. And after this we have like some information on Carolus Linnaeus that has been given over here. We'll be discussing about who exactly he was and what is his contribution towards classification of organism. Okay, then we have the start, which is very important for you all to know, because this is the basic information. I'll suggest you, when you start studying the characteristic, or when you start with your study with respect to animal kingdom, animalia, make sure you first go through this chart, because this is going to help you a lot. Okay, then after that we will be discussing on nomenclature as well, like why there is a need for systemic naming of living organism, and how exactly any organism has been named. So we'll be discussing nomenclature in detail, and after that we have this activity 7.3 and 7.4 that we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, like we will be discussing on the observation, explanation and conclusion, or whatever has been asked in the activity, we'll be doing that. And then we have the summary discussion that we will be doing at the end of the lesson, once we complete with studying about nomenclature, Carolus Linnaeus, and the two classes that we are left with. Okay, so we'll have the summary discussion, and then we have few exercise questions at the end to discuss. Like altogether there are 6 questions that we will be discussing. I'm going to show you the questions one by one, and I want each one of you to please go through it, because you will be the one who's going to answer me at the end. Okay, so please go through these questions, everyone. I hope everyone is going through the question. I hope everyone is going through it. So this is how we will be ending up with the lesson, diversity in living organism. And I hope each one of you have understood like whatever we have discussed till now in the lesson. Okay, now rest of the part which has been left, I'm going to continue that in the next part. But make sure every one of you are revising whatever has been studied, okay, till this part. Thank you everyone.